What's up, everybody? Oh, it's a hot day today. This is going to be a good topic. This is going to be a topic that a lot of people are very familiar with when it comes to social media. So I'm going to let a couple people join in and chat about this. So, have you been manipulated by social media? Have you manipulated other people using social media? I'm curious to see your input on this. So social media, it's a platform that a lot of people like to show that highlight reel. Everybody knows that. Everybody only sees the best of other people's lives. And this is very, very true in advertising. Almost look at it like a movie. You're only going to see the things that people want you to see to get a specific effect or a specific response when it comes to that. When it comes to social media, there's so many training courses out there that teaches people how to manipulate the public. So I want to talk about stuff like that so you can watch out for things like that. So a lot of times, a lot of people will show things to get your attention. Like the first thing I'm going to let you notice is the headline in itself. I'm pretty sure that actually made you more interested in than if I were to talk about ways to increase your branding on social media. But the very fact that I use the word manipulate was something that it actually intrigued you and made you look at and open up and watch, right? People naturally gravitate towards negative things, unfortunately. Like if we talked about, had a wonderful day at such and such, we don't really want to open those things up. We want to open the things up that people are ranting or expressing their emotions or feelings or upset. It's weird that we're hardwired this way, that we're so numb to negative, that we actually feed off of it because it's above average, because average is boring. People get very bored with life, that's why they want so much stimulus. They want so much extreme positive or extreme negative. Everything has to be freaking extreme. And that's where the problem is so many people feel that they can't just be average, because if they're average, they're boring. And if they're boring, people don't watch them. And if people don't watch them, then it affects them and they're emotionally insecure and things like that and so on and so forth, right? So when it comes to public perception on Facebook, people get those little dopamine hits when they post something. It's much like a kid, like if a kid does something and they tell a joke to you and you laugh at it, and that kid notices that what they said made you laugh, they're going to pay attention to it and they're going to do it more. They'll keep doing it. You're like, all right, that's enough. Okay, that's enough. Like they wore out the joke. But what happens is that kid is learning that their actions or the things that they say or the things that they do are getting a response. They're causing you to do a response. It's the same thing that people do. I do it. I'm not perfect in any way. You see something, you react to something, you post something, you get good response back, you get good feedback, you feel good about yourself, you feel validated. People seek validation online, and that's where the problem is. There's so much insecurity from within. We seek outward validation, and that's why social media controls so many people's lives, because they don't know how to live without it. They don't know how to be validated in their own life and feel happy and secure. They have to go online and share their every single thought to the world to get validated. So I just want you to be aware of that stuff, because it's bad. Because if you're constantly seeking approval from outward influences, it's going to have a negative effect on your actual real physical world. Because what social media is, it's an online perceived life. It's what you imagine yourself to be or what you imagine others to think that you are. But your real life, your real world is physical. It's here. And so many people let that perceived world of social media affect their real world. So think about things like that, because if you were to shut off social media and continue on with your life, I guess what? Nothing would be different. Everything would be just about the same. It wouldn't be bad. If everybody stopped talking to you on Facebook, you would still live your life. You would still be you, right? But so many people, especially kids nowadays, they live everything through social media, and they don't have a life outside of social media. So I want you to know that a lot of people are very susceptible to be manipulated on social media. This comes from advertisers. I've done it in the past to build my brand, because when I got started, I wanted people to believe that I was something that I wasn't, because I paid attention to how people responded to things when it come to advertising. You know, I was a brand new agent, and I wanted people to feel like I was a successful agent, or that I was correlated with certain types of properties, and had this imagery and things like that. And it worked really well because people only saw what I wanted them to see. And it's scary of just how powerful social media really is. So I just want you to be aware of things like that. If you have somebody, that you follow on social media, or that, you take everything that they say, to heart, and you follow it, whether it's a celebrity or whether it's someone, an influencer or whatever it is, and they're affecting your real world, you got to pay attention to stuff like that, because you're not really getting your own thoughts and your own beliefs from yourself. You're getting them from an outward influence. So just be very, very careful of that, because social media can be very dangerous in that respect, because you end up doing all these things that you don't realize that you did, or why you even did them in the first place. So I just want you to know that, manipulation on social media is extremely well. I mean, hell, look at this. Look at the public elections. When it comes to Trump, Cambridge, I think it's, Cambridge Analytica. All of that, they massively influence millions of people because of Facebook ads. It's very real. You can be persuaded. And if anything, here, I'm going to go, before this keeps going on too long, about how Facebook ads really work. Is you can target people based on their interest and their feelings and their emotion and their status, their behaviors, all those things. I can put specific ads in front of those people that are most likely to consume and engage with them. That's exactly how they won the election, because they found the people that were most likely to be persuaded, like they were on the fence, right? And so what they did is they placed these ads that were very, very, conservative in front of them. So when it come time to run the polls, they would naturally vote more Republican. So the reason that worked is because they changed their entire world of what their perception of reality really was. So when it come time to vote, guess what they thought how the world was? They thought it was a certain way that they saw online. So stuff is very real. That's why there's so many regulations now coming down on Facebook and things like that, because of the serious power of social media. So I just want you to be aware of those things when it comes to those advertisements, or even in your day-to-day life. This stuff can it can warp you. Every once in a while, do like a little social detox, shut your phone off, or delete your app. I do this all the damn time, and I'll delete it again and upload it and delete it again. Just delete your Facebook app, because you naturally get in like a habit of, when you're bored, you'll go through the cycles on your phone. You'll hit Instagram, hit Snapchat, go to Facebook, check this, check email, and you just get bored, and you just do this little loop, and then you just hit all these notifications, and you do this little loop. So if you delete some of those apps, or you move some of those apps, you break that cycle, and then your mind changes its habit form, and it's like, I guess I'll set the phone down. Like, you realize what you're doing. So break that habit. Don't just sit there and just consume things constantly. It's bad for you. I try and do this. It's very tough. But just wanted to give you those 2 cents, and the power of social media and manipulation. It's very real. And I'd love to hear your input on some of this stuff. So I appreciate it. And y'all have a good rest of the evening. I don't know why I did that. Have a good night. I'm out.